Okay. All righty. I think,
Okay, I'm trying to share, but it's not allowing me.
okay, all right, let me get you together here. All right, so I'm gonna go to participants and then I'll make you a co-host. Okay, screen. All right, so
Okay, it might be because you're already sharing audio. I'm not sure.
oh yeah,
See
yeah,
that at
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
top?
That's right. So let me stop. That's right. Let's do that. All right, you should be able to now.
All right, let's see here.
So when you hit share, just at the bottom left corner, you should see share. You got to do it before you share your screen.
Okay.
Yes, as soon as you hit share screen, it's at the bottom. Share sound, click that.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I see it. Okay, yay, I see it. All
There you
right,
go.
here we go. Here we go.
This will make it sound good, come through clean.
Awesome. All right, now let me get to the video.
Okay.
Everything has a frequency, even our bodies. The body's cells can create and receive energy. This energy is information that functions through sending and receiving specific frequencies. When these natural frequencies become mixed up, so does the body's ability to self-regulate and maintain healthy function. We begin to feel unwell. Maybe we are more tired than usual, or have a change in appetite. We may even become sick. When this occurs, the body's frequency level or vibration must be changed. When we want to listen to a particular radio station, we need to tune into the correct frequency of that station in order to reach it. Our bodies are the same way. We need to tune into the correct frequencies to reach the optimal state of being. What if you had a way to measure your own frequencies and, in turn, could use optimizing frequencies to improve your vibration? The answer is now available in the palm of your hand. The AO Scan technology by Solect sends and receives energy, frequency, vibration, and resonance signals, so you know what is going on inside your body. Designed to scan and measure frequencies, then compare them with their established blueprint, AO Scan is able to show variances. Using noise-canceling technology, AO Scan emits opposing frequencies that disable frequencies in chaos, so your body can rest. The result is a movement toward a balanced body and mind. So what exactly are we talking about? Let's get started. Think you can beat a lie detector test? Think again. Your voice will always tell the truth, whether you want it to or not. Did you know that your thoughts and emotions are carried in your vocal cords? No amount of masking your voice can change that fact. Our inner voice scan is derived from the same technology as a lie detector test. The inner voice program helps harmonize your emotional state, including concentration, creativity, and emotional intelligence. This program records a 10-second sample of your voice to isolate and analyze imbalances in your emotional state that present themselves through your vocal cords. The inner voice report will display 3 notes or octaves that are out of balance, as well as the main octave that is being suppressed, and 4 MP3 files are generated. Called balancing harmonics will then play. These tones are unique to your energetic needs. The music files incorporate radionics, binaural beats, and other frequencies to support the balance of your emotional and mental well-being. It is best to listen to these tones first thing in the morning, right before you go to bed, and throughout the day whenever it crosses your mind. The vital scan reads the energetic state of your blood biology to identify which areas are out of balance, and then sends optimizing frequencies to teach the body how to come back into balance. The information obtained from the scan includes reports of before and after the optimization. Have you ever worn a pair of noise-canceling headphones? Think of all the noise around you. When you put on the headphones, the outside noise disappears, and you are able to concentrate without all the distractions. This is likened to optimizing frequency. You are getting rid of the chaos or the noise in your body. When a frequency is out of range, an odd-setting optimizing frequency can bring your body's frequencies into range. Essentially, you're cutting the noise of the non-optimal frequencies. The comprehensive scan is, well, comprehensive. It reads and displays information of frequencies from over 130 organs, arteries, veins, glands, nerves, vertebrae, as well as the spine, digestive system, eyes, and lymphatic system to identify the unique vibrational frequencies that are not in an optimal state. Just as with other scans in our program, optimization offers frequencies to teach the body to move towards balance. This mode of technology offers a comprehensive library of information that is constantly being updated on a regular basis. Let's talk about SEPI, a shining star in the AO scan technology. SEPI is an acronym for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. This technology presents a personal menu of thousands of frequencies that address various imbalances in the body. SEPI is designed to capture, amplify, and imprint subtle energy frequencies that can be broadcast to an individual or imprinted into an object. Remember when we talked about trying to listen to a particular radio station, but needing to tune in to the correct frequency of that station in order to reach it? SEPI is like the radio broadcaster, sending out the correct frequencies to help us reach the optimal state of being. Future in Wellness is here and now readily available to all. Albert Einstein was right when he said, "Everything is vibration. Future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies." Welcome to that future and the endless possibilities in front of you.
All right, Kumar, back at you.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so pretty much I was wanting to share a little or have some of you all who are experienced with the technology and talk about what excited you about incorporating this into I guess your tools from a doctor's standpoint.
Absolutely. Well, let me just go first. Great evening, everybody. It's so good to see you all here. I am super, super excited about this technology. I'm Dr. Janine Ridgway. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in natural health practice since 2006. I primarily focus on naturopathy, holistic healing of the whole body. And one of the things that I always do is I'm always learning, I'm always looking to grow, I'm always looking for the latest and greatest ways to help optimize your health and to help empower and inspire you to make better choices for better health. So I was actually introduced to this technology in February by my friend, Dr. Sheila, who is also here. And when I first saw it, I got excited. I got excited because she was just posting, she was sharing some of the things that, she had experienced with this, some of the things that she was learning about it. And I said, this looks interesting. However, I don't need another thing. I'm good. So I refused to look at it for a couple months. Well, we met up at a conference in February. And of course, my inquiring mind wanted to know. And so the first thing I said to her is, let me see the scanner you've been talking about. Well, 5 minutes into that conversation, I knew that I had to have this. And I'll tell you, the last couple months, it has been an absolute game changer. There has not been a day that I don't use this in my practice and for myself and for my family. And so that's why we feel compelled to share, because I truly feel like this is something that can benefit you, that can, really help you to change the whole trajectory of the health of your family and your life and all of that. So where do I begin? First of all, I'm going to invite one of my naturopathic colleagues. Every day I speak with Dr. Darrell about this scanner, about this technology. Every day we talk about what we love about it. And every day we discover more and more and more. Now, there's a lot of things that can be done with this. There's 9 different scans that can be run. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this information, because what I want you to understand is that you don't have to be a practitioner. You don't have to understand all of this. This technology allows us to get information about our bodies, but not only allows us to get information to make better lifestyle choices, but it actually scans and optimizes, which means in and of itself, it's a treatment. And so I found that there was some things that I didn't have good answers for. There's a scan that I use every day in my practice called a Zyto scan. And what it would show is that people had some emotional baggage. People had some things that weren't quite clearing, and that can affect your physical health. And I didn't have a good answer for those people. I would tell them, go read this book, go do this tapping technique. You might need some counseling, but I didn't have something tangible that we could do right then on the spot that they could take right then to help themselves. And so when I found this, one of the things that really resonated with me was the fact that we could actually help to affect those emotional changes that were keeping them stuck physically. And this is where, this is why Kaman got so excited about it, because he's a musician. And so he understands the power of energy, frequency, vibration, and how music can actually impact you for the positive and for the negative. And so with this program, we have something called Inner Voice, which truly helps to, it's a game changer, because it helps to unlock some of the emotional baggage without you having to talk about it, without you having to rehash it, without you having to do hours and hours of counseling, because I know how expensive that can be. And this is something that you can use for yourself, your children, your spouse, your entire family. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce one of my friends, one of my colleagues, someone who thinks just like me. So I have a huge amount of respect for this gentleman. His name is Dr. Daryl. We met at one of our conferences that we go to. We're both knowledge seekers. And so we go to several conferences a year, learning about nutrition, learning about new holistic techniques. And so we started running into each other over and over again, because he and Dr. Sheila, who you'll meet later, we all thrive on knowledge, and we all thrive on expansion and just, learning and growing and finding ways that we can help, our patients and our clients and our family and our friends. So I realized that Dr. Jill and I think a lot alike. We started talking about this. We started sharing amongst each other, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's a naturopathic doctor, phenomenal practitioner. And I want him to share what he loves about this, how he uses it in his practice, and just, just a little bit about what everybody can gain from this on a day-to-day basis, Dr. Darrell.
Well, thank you. After that introduction, I don't know that I can quite live up to that, but I appreciate it all. I am Daryl Roberts. I'm a naturopathic doctor in Charlotte, North Carolina. I see people virtually and in person, which makes the AO scanner just really great for me. So I came into the knowledge of this scanning system the same day that Janine did. I was at the same conference. I was sitting right behind her and Dr. Sheila as they were talking about it. And I inquired, I stuck my head across the table, and they turned towards me so that the conversation could come my way. And the thing that I ended up talking to Sheila, Dr. Sheila, about it a little bit more. And the thing that really grabbed my attention was utilizing sounds and frequencies to balance the emotional wellness of the client or patient. And I was doing that already. That's what really blew me away, because I was already doing that, utilizing binaural beats and rife frequencies inside of a sound system or sound portal that I have for my clients. So I knew that the people that I worked with already had knowledge of this. I didn't have to sell them on this. They already experienced sound therapy. They already knew that the power of frequencies and music could balance their emotions, but they were balancing them in a very base way, meaning inside of my sound portal, if you're depressed, you go to the depression section. If you have anxiety, you go to the anxiety section. If you have a diagnosis of ADD or ADHD, you go to that section. It was all spread apart based off of whatever the general system was that you were trying to bring into balance. But what Dr. Sheila informed me was that this particular scanning system will give you the frequencies for what you're experiencing in particular. And so that was a huge step up for me. And so I was very interested, and I ended up getting my own scan that night. And by the end of that night, I was up all night studying this, even though I had this whole conference the next day. And by the end of that night, I knew that this was something that I had to have. So the inner voice is the part that I'm going to just talk about very, very briefly. And this is so amazing. This allows you to take 10 seconds and speak. And someone can send you their audio, and you can play it, or they can, if they have their own system, they can speak right into it. And within 10 seconds, the system is able to take your voice, find the frequencies that are out of balance in the voice, and then show you what emotional manifestations come from those frequencies that are out of balance. Gives you this nice report that's about 7 or 8 pages long. And in the report, it goes over various imbalances that are associated with what it found, emotional imbalance and some vitals as well. But at the very top, and I like the fact that they put this on the top, because when you get your email, you just click the link. You can really just skip everything past the top and just click play. Because when you click play, what you're doing is you're balancing out everything else that it found. So if you're really, really curious, like some of us are, and you want to find every little thing that it found, go ahead, read the report. I personally just click play and understand that I'm being balanced from an emotional standpoint. And now what I have started doing very recently in my practice is I run that before I actually see the client, before I work on the client. The first thing that I do now is I run the inner voice and I balance what comes out. And I have found that when I do that, the rest of the treatment goes a lot deeper, because the emotions that may have thwarted the treatment or at least slowed down the progress has been taken care of at the inception of the visit. And so the inner voice portion is the thing that got my attention right away. The inner voice is the part of the report that or the part of the scanning system that I use most. And it's the part of the scanning system that I use first. I use several parts of the scanning system, but the inner voice is really the foundation. In fact, so many of us believe that if you don't have time to do anything else, get the inner voice in. And I've learned in my practice that the more out of balance, because I've been dealing with emotions for a while, the more out of balance the emotions are, the harder it is for the body to heal. Because the emotions will take up the space that the body needs for healing. It takes away the reserves. It takes the energy. When you are emotionally unbalanced, your body is dealing with that energetically, and your body needs energy in order to heal. And so when the emotions get clear, the body heals a lot faster. I've been dealing with flower essences for a while, which is in essence the same thing. It's, in the traditional flower essences, you're making a tincture. All of those flower essences that I am certified in are inside of the scanner for you to energetically send to people. So that is my testimony. And that's what I use really the most at this point. Inner voice, balance your emotions and you heal.
Dr. Darrell, before you get away, what experiences have you had with patients using it? Just, what they experience. And then also, what do you think about the ability of people to be able to do this every single day at home?
So the scanning system allows you, there's this one scan on there, it's called Easy Scan. And that Easy Scan allows you to go through several different scans with one click. And so it also optimizes as it goes. And so the optimization, I'm assuming you'll talk about it at some point, but you are scanning your system to find out what's out of balance, and you're sending optimizing frequencies to try to balance what's out of balance. And as you said earlier, that is a treatment in itself. It's really, it's foolproof. Literally, with one button, you can speak and wait and just sit back and relax. At the end of that 5 minutes, put those headphones on, close your eyes for 3 minutes, and listening to the to the balancing harmonics. 10 minutes in the morning or in the afternoon or evening, 10 minutes a day, and you literally will get a treatment that would cost hundreds of dollars if you went to see a practitioner.
Absolutely amazing. On that note, I'm going to pull up a screen really quick just to show people what you are actually talking about so they can see it. Let me see here. I'll pull this up real quick. Oh gosh, it's not there. Oh, bummer.
I have one if you wanted me to just.
Yeah, pull it up real quick. Don't go through it too much. Just show them show them the balancing harmonics. Let me unshare. Okay, just show them the balancing harmonics, how they look at the top, and just basically real quick, just how the screen looks. One screen.
It's not there. Oh, no.
Yours closed too.
No, it's not closed. It's just not.
I think I closed all my tabs when I was taking the video down.
All right, let me just try this one more time. This is really strange. Oh, here it is. All right. So this is the screen that comes up when you get your scan. This is what I mean. You have your out of balance frequencies here. And if you just click this pulse cycle, then it starts playing the harmonics binaural beat style where different frequencies go inside of each ear. And that alone helps to balance you out. However, if you scroll down, the first couple of pages tells you about the inner voice system and how it works and why it works. But you get 4 different reports that let you know the 4 most out of balance things that it found and what that looks like, positive and negative. And this is the first one that came up for this patient, repetitive thinking versus creative thinking. It gives you emotions. And when you get to this section, emotions that may have shown from that particular person. So that's one of them. This is the second most out of balance. This is the third most out of balance. And then this is the fourth. 4 specific charts that you get, but those 4 specific charts are represented at the very top of this page where you click the button in order to play the harmonics in your ear. So that's what I mean by it's foolproof. If you want to scroll down and look to see what's being balanced, feel free. But if you're just on the go, you can just click this, press this little pulse cycle button. Also, it comes directly into your email as an attachment. So you can click on the individual report files as an attachment if you'd like to watch it and look at it that way.
Now, Dr. Darrell,
Yes,
now
sir.
what fascinated me, you see, you have the C, the A sharp, G sharp. So if you go down to where it shows, up there, go back up where it shows the pitches that are.
Are you talking this?
No, underneath that. It'll show
Yeah.
right there. So this right here, you were breaking down this on the last presentation you all did. So the F sharp and G sharp, those are kind of lower than the ones on the left. You know, the C sharp is high and the D is higher. Did you do you understand, or could you break down what that means?
Well, from the training that I had, when you start looking at that, we're talking about just like volume. We're not really talking about the nuances inside of the tone. The software is breaking down the high and the low of the frequencies of the actual voice.
Okay.
And so some people were a little confused because, you know, you see some of these that are all the way up here. And according to the training that I had, that's simply the volume. We're talking,
volume.
it's simply volume, which has nothing to do with the actual report. And so just really quickly go here to the very first one, the C sharp was the most out of balance or the loudest from the standpoint here. And I guess it technically is here too. You might actually understand the concept of this better than I do, being that you're so into music. But what we were told was that when you're seeing something all the way at the top here, that's more volume than frequency.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the numbers on the top, even though the bars are all up there, the numbers are different. So it really does match. C sharp is the highest, E is the second highest, D is the third highest, and B is the lowest when you look at the numbers.
Oh, the numbers here. Yeah.
Okay. And so this is pulling in, I know when it does a scan, it's analyzing what 2,000 different frequencies in your
About
voice?
9,000.
Yeah, 8 to 10.
Okay. And between 12 octaves too, I heard you
Yes.
say. Okay. So it could be some things, experiences, trauma, or whatever we've gone through that is affecting our tone of voice. And
Everything that you go through will affect the frequencies that come out when you speak.
yeah, right.
In just period. And even someone who is pretty balanced emotionally, even an emotionally balanced person is still going to have variations in their frequencies. They're still going to, it's not even so much saying that this is so out of balance as much as it's saying out of the 12 octaves, these are the 3 highest and then the 1 lowest. So from your range, whatever that happens to be of balance, these would be the most on the fringe until we get to perfection. And I want to see that person.
But it does have a blueprint you all mentioned before of what is, I guess, the balanced frequency, and that's how it determines where you are and compares it to where you should be, I guess, later when people would see the
Well, are you talking down here?
No, the blueprint is more with the other scans. So when we're doing vitals, we're looking at the organs, the glands, the systems, the blood, things like that.
right.
Every part of the body resonates at a certain frequency. And so we want to make sure it's optimized and it's resonating where it needs to. The emotional part, we just want to make sure you're not stuck. You know, a lot of times we have a trauma or we have something that happens and we get stuck. And then that affects us from that point forward. So it's not really a negative versus a positive. It's more so we want it to flow easily so that a person can work through and transition through everything that they go through. And it's funny because with the inner voice, people really, really resonate with what comes up. They're like, wow, how in the world is that even possible? And I always give the example of, if somebody's had something that just happened and they're just trying to talk normally about anything, you can hear their voice quiver. You can almost hear that they're trying to hold back tears. Well, this is the same, except it goes so much deeper to all the stuff we're trying to mask. And it's just profound in its ability to help you release that and move on. And even when you don't even realize it, it can truly change how you perceive things, to a more positive effect. So with that, I would love to introduce Dr. Sheila because she's the one who brought this to both Daryl and I. Dr. Sheila is just naturopathic extraordinaire. She's one that works with the most chronically ill people, people who have been everywhere else and don't have any answers and couldn't get any help. And they're at their wits' end and they may have even, felt like giving up. And she provides hope. And one of the things I always loved about Dr. Sheila is that she's not only willing to go out there and find, everything that we could possibly do to empower ourselves, but she's also willing to share it. And that's huge. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of guts. And she's always been that way. I've always seen her, as soon as she finds something, she's like, I'm going to shout this from the rooftops because everybody needs this. And so Dr. Sheila, if you wouldn't mind telling us why you love this so much, how it could benefit everybody. I don't want to bog anybody down with all of the minutia of details because there's so much to it, but I really just want to, bring across how this benefits every one of us every single day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, former paramedic back in allopathic, really heartbreaking times. I love being a paramedic because I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love emergencies and I love helping people, but I got tired of fighting a system that wasn't serving people well. So God made a way for me to go back to school late in life to be a naturopathic doctor, to get people back to the truth, back to the beginnings, nature. He gave us everything that we needed to heal, but we have to respect the laws of nature and we have to respect the temple. We've been commanded to take care of the temple. So I actually had checked out the AOScan technology about 3.5 years ago when another technology came across my path, which really got me into the whole network sharing industry. And God really did a lot of mind shifts with me through that because COVID happened right after that and everybody lost their businesses, their jobs, their money, their homes. And I saw network marketing give them their lives back. So that really shifted my nausea to gratitude. And so what I've learned is I'm really passionate about empowering the individual because of what I saw as a paramedic, and then what I saw through this last 3-year experience that we just went through, people not being empowered. Sometimes people don't realize the power that they have, or that, one thing that really God laid upon me was they only have the power that we give them. And it was like, I'm going to stop giving my power away. And so I'm really passionate about helping people to take their power back. And with this AO technology, that's what I've discovered is we've got something so advanced, yet so easy to use and so affordable. It can empower every single household. Literally, like Dr. Janine was saying, people do come here from all over the United States. It blows my mind because I know that every imbalance, whether it's a stage 4 something that's been sent to hospice or whatever else they want to call it, it can be reversed. But you have to give the body what it needs and stop giving it what it doesn't need. But what I've seen is people are going from practitioner to practitioner, whether it's natural health, functional medicine, integrative medicine, allopathic, and literally they're going through all of these chains and they're not getting answers. And disease is getting more and more complicated because man is doing more and more horrible things that are destroying everything that God gave us. So we have to be even more proactive. We can't depend on somebody else to have the answers. I left my own personal doctor, good grief, probably almost 30 years ago, because I was having to do my own homework. I just got tired of going home to do my own research for stuff that they didn't seem to understand. It's like, why am I paying you when I have to take care of it myself? So another reason that I got into naturopathic medicine, because my family won't go there. We can't trust what's happening there. Once in a while, you do run into a really great doctor, but it's getting harder and harder to find. They're owned, they're bought, they're trapped. So anyway, that's why I'm so excited about this AO scanner. And as much as I have a passion for humanity, my first passion is making sure that I have the very best, because I know I can't trust anybody else with my health. I have to be self-empowered. Well, and then there's my family. I can't trust other people to take care of my family. We've seen way too many things go wrong and I can't risk it. So I have to have the very best. And then the people that God sends my way that don't have answers, I can't be their everything, but I can give them things to help empower them. And this technology does that. What I really love is, well, one of my biggest testimonies is when my mom calls me in the middle of the night with 105-degree fever. She's in a lot of pain. She's really sick and she's scared because we all live out in rural places. So it's like an hour drive to the nearest hospital, which we don't use. So it's a couple hours to go to a decent hospital. And that's not fun in the middle of the night, especially when you don't feel well. I can run a scan clear across the state in the middle of the night and find out what's going on with my mom. And I can decide if she really needs to make that trip or if we can do something proactive at home. I can build a custom playlist of all the things that I see that she could use supportively and give her some other recommendations that she can do on her own. Literally every time I've had to do this with my mom, my kids, my grandbabies, and my grandpuppies, it works. We find out what's going on. If we need to spend a trip, how many people are spending hours driving somewhere and paying out hundreds of dollars and coming home with no answers? I hear this story every single day, and it is so frustrating. And can you imagine the person who's got chronic disease and nobody can tell them what's wrong, or they give them a label, but there's no good solutions? I'm sorry, God did not put us here to survive. He put us here to thrive, and he has given us everything we need. Just like this technology, this is getting back to the basics. Frequencies are what created the earth. God spoke it into existence. He spoke everything into existence. He did not poof it. He didn't have a magic wand. He didn't say abracadabra. He spoke it into existence with the vibration of his voice. And the old doctors back in biblical times, how did they do medicine? By watching the stars. They could actually hear the vibrations of the planets. They just got so much by paying attention out here. But with the technology booms, we've all gotten out of all that and we're listening to all this other noise. So that's kind of what I think Western medicine did, was pull us away from creation and nature to make us dependent on them instead of creator and everything he gave us. So it hasn't worked out so well. some other things. Oh my goodness. So the dental scan is something that you might see at some point, but one thing that really hit me hard when they were doing the beta testing for this one scan, there was a lady that was getting really, really sick, and she went into one of the wellness centers up by our headquarters, and they did a scan, but the practitioner was also a beta tester. And she said, well, we're beta testing this dental scan. Let me run a scan and see what comes up. There was a tooth that came up very, very concerning. So did she say, oh, I'll fix it? No, she said, you probably should go see your dentist. So she did. And the dentist ran some x-rays and found something very concerning, came back to her and said, it's a good thing that you came in because we found the tip of a broken drill bit. And the woman said, well, I had a crown put on 12 years ago and they told me that the bit broke, but didn't tell me they left it in my mouth. Well, the body was now rejecting it 12 years later, and she was septic, and she would have died if they hadn't run that scan and he had gone in, been able to extract that and clean out her jaw. Who would have known when this woman died? Who would have ever done the autopsy and found that drill bit? You would have never found it. So that spoke volumes to me at the amount of information we have. I can guarantee you that there is no technology that I mean, I've not seen anything that can tell us what this does. Not only do natural health practitioners use this, but even oncologists, veterinarians, dentists, massage therapists, physical medicine, surgeons, internists. I mean, every type of modality uses this technology because there's nothing that can tell us what this does. It's not diagnostic, but it is information you wouldn't have with anything else. And what I love is we have a lot of stay-at-home moms. I've got a couple of families that I take care of in different means, like homeopathic immunization to avoid side effects from jabs. And how expensive is it for a mom with several kids to try to, take them to all these different places that they need help, especially if they've got any kind of health challenges? Like Dr. Darrell was talking about, we can literally run a scan within a few seconds. And not only do we get the balancing harmonics that help balance our emotions and bring them into balance, because when emotions are out of balance, body can't heal. But every time you run a scan, the technology analyzes everything that's out of balance, whether it's in your lab work, your musculoskeletal system, your brain, your mitochondria, everywhere in your body. Anything that's out of balance, it immediately sends back balancing frequencies to help your body come back to homeostasis. So I don't know anything that can do that, but how many hundreds and thousands of dollars are being saved in the home when people can just do that? They don't have to understand how this works. They don't have to read the reports. They don't have to go back to school. All they have to do is click a button to run a scan, and it automatically optimizes your frequencies. Automatically. Within seconds. And then you can listen to the balancing frequencies, the balancing harmonics, to help bring those emotions into balance, because those ones that are up on top are often overexpressed. And the one down at the bottom is something that's usually repressed, that you're not even aware of. The way that we respond, the way that we act often is driven by emotions that we may not be aware of, the messages that are playing in our minds and our subconscious that are driving emotions. Past traumas, maybe that you don't remember, things have gotten stuck. These things are going on in all of us all the time. This is so powerful because, oh my goodness, I know Lauren had given an example of how much this saves people over talk therapy, years of talk therapy. I don't know about you, but I have a long history of trauma. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars with different kinds of practitioners and never really got help. It was a lot of money wasted, a lot of energy, a lot of vulnerability, but it didn't get me very far. This right here, non-invasive, I can do this every day for free. And I get a whole lot more results because it's doing a lot of work for you, that, just things that you're not aware of. So this is just the most empowering piece of equipment I have ever seen in my life. And I am excited to get this into every household. I did actually have a practitioner tell me, why would I give somebody else something like that and work myself out of a job? Well, first of all,
They ship it. No, they ship it. They ship it. Okay. I know you can't buy it.
Hey,
Sorry.
Darlene, we need to mute. Let me see if I can mute it.
Hello.
Okay. Lost my train of thought. I'm not sure where I was.
Oh, Dr. Sheila, you were just talking about why in the world would you work yourself out of a job?
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, people are still going to need us, but they're not going to need us for everything. And they're going to have so much empowerment at home, like in the middle of the night. What do you do when your kid wakes up and they've got something going on and you don't know? You can't go to the doctor. They're not open. You can't call them, but you can run a scan and say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to build a little playlist of all these different frequencies and I'm just going to broadcast that to you overnight. Literally, I think it was my second month in. This happened in my family. One night, my youngest grandbaby, second youngest grandbaby, was really sick. We didn't know if she needed to go to the doctor, wasn't sure. I ran a scan, built her a program. She was running high fever. And literally the next morning, she was feeling much better. That next darn day, it was my mom and did the same thing for her. The next darn day was the grandbaby's sister. And then the next day, the fourth day, it was my dad. 4 days in a row, all these things were happening. And it looked like it could have been, several days of recovery. One overnight, just broadcasting, supporting, balancing frequencies to them, and they were much better by morning. Now, does that mean that you never have to go to a practitioner? No, I don't. I mean, there are things that will come up. Something did come up with my dad. We never did get an answer. He did have an unnecessary surgery that they're now fighting in court, but I didn't find an answer. They didn't find an answer. We're not really sure what was going on, but it doesn't mean that you don't ever need a practitioner. It just means you're not going to need them as often, and you're going to have so much more power in your own hands. And not only that, not just for yourself, your entire family, your pets. We scan pets all the time. In fact, we've got a veterinarian on our board, on our staff, and he's giving testimonies all the time of lives that they have saved because they couldn't find what they found here in any of their lab work or their examinations. You can't find this kind of information. This literally tells you every detail of everything that's going on in your body, whether it's viruses, bacteria, toxicities, waste, emotions, organs, family miasms. I mean, it's so extensive, but you don't have to know all those things. All you have to do is push a button, scan, listen to your balancing harmonics, and you've already received emotional support and physical support, all by frequency. And you can do this for anybody, anywhere in the world. It's another reason I love it, because my old technology, people had to buy a $250 hand cradle if they wanted remote support so that I could run a scan. They don't have to do anything now. I can scan anybody anywhere in the world, anytime, day or night, and I can send back things to help them. Everybody should have one of these.
It's so awesome. I want to pull up really quick. It's so hard to do this in a timely fashion because there's just so much.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm going to wrap it up in a minute, but I want to show this screen because I want people to understand all the things that she's talking about.
Right.
Okay. So Dr. Sheila was talking about broadcasting frequencies. There's a part of this program called SEFI. It stands for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. These are the things that you have at your disposal. There's affirmations if you feel like you need help with creativity, energetic clearing, focus, forgiveness, gratitude. Sometimes you're just feeling down and you know that you need gratitude, but you're just not quite feeling it. There's a frequency for that. You can broadcast it. You can imprint it to a homeopathic pellet that you can ingest. There is a full library of everything that you can possibly think of. I'm just going to scroll quickly just to show you. Basically, you don't have to know anything. All you need to know is the symptom. Are you having some joint pain? Go to arthritis. You can send a frequency for that. Back pain, back stiffness, digestive issues, diarrhea, anything. It can be anything. So I use a lot of homeopathy in my practice, but when I'm working with people remotely, I can't say, well, go to your local drugstore and get this homeopathic remedy because they can't find them. The FDA has come after this stuff so hard. It's so hard to find. A lot of the stores are not carrying all the homeopathic remedies like they used to be able to. This is energy medicine. It pairs with all the nutrition that you're taking. It pairs with all the supplements. It gives your body the blueprint to be able to use those supplements and use those nutrients and heal. Look at this. Poor appetite. Everything, ulcers in the mouth, restless legs, bad teeth. I mean, the list goes on and on. You've got emotional challenges. Anybody that's familiar with Bach flowers, rescue remedy is one of the popular ones you may have heard of. All of these things, energy centers, homeopathy. Now, these are actual homeopathic remedies. You can imprint those frequencies into a pellet. You can imprint them into a custom wearable, a little holographic patch where you're getting that frequency, or you can just broadcast it out. You can even imprint them into your water. You can make a homeopathic remedy. There's one in specific for, let's say you get bit by a bee. You want to make an apis remedy, imprint it in your water and drink it. And there you go. You've got that remedy. It's just amazing. There's just so many different things. The list is, it goes on and on and on. All kinds of allergies, general allergies, flower allergies, mold, pets, as you can see, I'm still scrolling. It's pages and pages and pages. All of this is at your disposal. So just to close out what all you have, you've got several different scans. You've got the inner voice, which deals with those stuck emotions. It helps to harmonize that without you having to talk it through, without you having to pay hundreds of dollars per session for, some type of talk therapy. You've got your vital scan, which goes through all your blood biology to identify areas that are out of balance. It's going to send you an optimizing frequency. I have a major testimonial in this area. I had a young lady who had just gotten out of the hospital from a heart attack. I scanned her vitals, every single thing except for 3 in the cardiovascular section were out of range. We balanced, they came back into range. For me, that was a really good sign that her body was on the mend, it was on the healing track, and that she was going to do well with her nutrition, and she is doing phenomenally well. You have your comprehensive scan, which is going to scan your organs, your cells, your bones, chromosomes, everything, and send it a balancing frequency. Then you have Cephi, which is what I was just showing you with all of those different homeopathics and symptoms. I've used Cephi extensively with myself, with my family. Somebody calls up, they're having a problem at night. I turn on that frequency, and by the next morning, they're feeling great. Body Systems is going to scan any system in your body, your circulatory, your connective tissue, digestion, endocrine, lymphatic, musculoskeletal, nervous, etc. In addition to scanning and sending you an optimizing frequency, it's going to tell you some lifestyle factors that you can do, whether or not you need to breathe cleaner air and be more conscious of that, whether or not you need better hydration, whether or not you need more sleep, whether or not you need more B vitamins, things that can help empower you. The quick scan just helps you with your supplementation, and then Easy Scan blends a whole lot of those together in a really quick, easy way. So there's so much, we could go on for hours. I do want Dr. Sheila, come on back, Dr. Sheila, are you still with us? I want you to just wrap it up a little bit and tell people why you're so excited about this company and how they can get involved with the AO scanner.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm so excited about this company, because are you talking to me or come on?
No, you.
I'm talking to you.
Sorry, my son dropped by for some dinner.
Your excitement is contagious. That's all, Dr. Sheila.
Well, I'll tell you, there's so many reasons that I'm excited, but I can tell you, I started out when I was younger doing Avon, Tupperware. I sold everything and I just stunk. I'm not a salesperson. I do not do sales. I have a brother who made millions. I tried following his footsteps, but that is just not me. It's not my nature. It just made me nauseous and very uncomfortable. But then, like I said, that company that came through right before COVID hit, got me on fire because it was something that empowered people. I didn't know anything about building a team. I didn't know anything about network marketing. All I knew was I had something that everybody needed. And I literally had hundreds of people within a month. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I have something that I need. I literally watched this transform people's lives and finances and giving them their livelihoods back. And I was like, maybe there is something to this. The trick then was not selling. It was knowing that you have something the world needs. That's the key. And so this, unfortunately, at that time was $38,000. I couldn't really afford it back then. And then when I found out that Lauren had made it mobile and affordable, so now everybody could have it, that was his mission, to empower the individual. It started out helping his family. and then practitioners. But when it's that kind of cost, we can't help the individual. So now with advanced technology, we can make this so stinking affordable. We can have it in every single household. And the man behind all of this, he is a man of God. He has the most humble spirit, and his mission is not to make money. It is to empower the individual. Well, in doing that, instead of taking it to a big corrupt corporate America, where the wrong people are getting all that money, he pays all the money into the individual layperson that shares. That's why we're sharing this. We don't want this sold on Amazon. We don't want this sold in corporate America. We have a company that actually gives you a very nice thank you every time you help to empower another person. So like if I find this really great thing at a store and I tell all of my friends, hey, this is really great, you need to get it. On all the traffic that I drive there, do those people ever tell me thank you? No. What I love about this company is every time I share this and I empower another household, I get a very nice thank you. And so every single person has the same opportunity, and all you are doing is empowering everybody else with the same empowerment that you have. And we need everybody empowered because, like I said, what we just went through the last 3 years, watching people have their choices taken away, not able to get care, man, it was literally heartbreaking. We cannot let that happen again. We need people empowered to be able to take care of themselves to the best of their abilities. They don't have to know anything. They have everything right here in the scanner, and it does everything for them. And as they go along, there's a lot of education opportunities if they're interested in learning more, but they don't have to. It is so simple and so affordable. And when they share it with other people, it pays for itself. So that's why I'm so excited. My heart is in complete alignment with this company. Lauren has also, he's constantly adding to, upgrading, updating our technology to keep us at the very front. And he's going to make sure nobody passes us. We're always going to have the best. So I encourage everybody to get back with whoever invited you to this call and ask them how you can get this in your home, and then start sharing it with other people too. I do free scans all the time because I want people to see what this thing does and how it can empower people.
Absolutely. Awesome. Kuman, do you have a question or two before we jump off?
Yeah, the price for people so that they can know what we're looking at.
Yes, that's the best part. So Dr. Sheila and I can both attest to the fact, Dr. Dale can too, we spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on technology that we use for ourselves and in our practices. And when we found out about this and when we heard the price point, we thought it was too good to be true. Because you can have this, you can start working with it today if you desire, but you can have this for $149 a month. It's a subscription. There is the device that you can purchase, which is, if you get this this size device, it's $495. If you get the tablet size device, it is $1,000. However, it's subscription based. So even if you don't get a device, or while you're waiting for your device to come, you can be working with it today. It's $149 a month. That's it. All of the technology that we have in our offices, we had to pay multiple thousands of dollars to buy the technology and then also pay a monthly subscription. This is subscription based. So once you have your subscription, you're able to use it on as many people as you want to use it on. Yourself, your husband, your kids, your mama, your daddy, your cousins, everybody. Everybody does not need their own subscription. You get yours and you put in as many profiles as you want. And that is powerful. And that's why we're so excited to share. This truly falls into the line of something that we would share even if there was no commission whatsoever, because I truly believe that everybody needs it. But it is nice that, you know, when you do share it, you do make a commission, and that helps to offset the cost of your monthly subscription. And it only takes 3 to do that, which is also amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of the pros and cons, I personally do not use it on my cell phone just because I'm using mine all day, every day. Literally, this is like a clinic in your back pocket. I take it with me everywhere I go. Lauren also has the dedicated devices EMF protected. So that's really important because most phones now are emitting 5Gs. If you understood what this is doing to your brain, your children's brains, it would blow your mind. Maybe you have some protective things on here. Hopefully you do, but also my phone is going off 24/7. So if I'm trying to run a scan and I've got notifications coming in, text messages, phone calls, it's interrupting my scans or my broadcasts. So that's why I love the dedicated. But I also understand that some people are really scraping to get by. And so what I love is they can use the app on their phone. And I highly encourage them to start sharing because now they're earning a commission. Maybe they can get a dedicated device now. But it's also going to get them out of that poverty. So I heard a really great quote on something I was listening to last week. I can't remember his name, but it's in some stuff that I'm doing. He says, "It is not that I love money, it's that I hate poverty." And boy, I can tell you as a single mom of 4 kids, most of the time through teenage years, college, poverty stinks. And, you know, having to go back and think about all the things that we had to do without, choices we didn't have, and really wishing that I had a different life. I do not want that for other people because we can create a different life. When you have money, you have choices. It is not the love of money, it is freedom. And God does not expect us to be broke because what good are we to humanity when we don't have money? I couldn't give anything. I had to have, and I did not like that. I wanted to be able to give. So with this, empowering people in their own homes, not only that, but I also have choices now. And that is what everyone was put here to have, is choices. So if you have any questions, just reach out to the people that invited you here and get going with this thing today. We're more than happy to help you get up and running and learning how to use this thing. Kuman, you are muted.
Oh, look
Is
like
it okay?
Charleston had a question. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good evening, and I appreciate your time, doctors Daryl, Sheila, and Janine. You guys, I hear in your voice and I see in your faces the sincerity. You have been careful not to. This is kind of a 2-question, trying to get a 2 for 1. But you've been careful not to use the word diagnose. I think I know the reason for that, but isn't that essentially what this tool does?
Can I answer that?
Oh, we will. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
know
Doc.
you can't say
We're all
that.
going to jump in.
No, I'm sorry. If it was you. All
You
right.
go ahead.
So a diagnosis in the traditional sense is when they take a bunch of different symptoms and they give a name to them. Bunch of different random symptoms, or maybe they're not so random, but they give a name to them. And usually the name is given so that it can be categorized, insurance codes can be put in, and a chemical can be assigned to them. So we're not only is this not that, and you're right about us being careful not to use that word, but it's not just because of why you might think, it's because we truly are not even believing in diagnosing. You get to look at all of these various things that come up on the scan, these frequencies that are out of balance, and then you combine them with the symptoms that you know that you have, and then you can go after whatever body system is out of balance and try to put that body system back into balance. When you truly understand that the body is one big harmonious system that depends on each system depends on the other system in order to regulate itself and to heal itself. When you truly realize that, the concept of a diagnosis becomes absurd because it's just way too limiting in scope. So no, this is not diagnostic, and we don't use the word diagnosis for legal reasons, but I think some of us start at the legalities, but when you truly understand how the body works, you won't want to diagnose anything. You just correct the symptom, you allow the body's frequency to harmonize, and then the body will work on repairing itself.
Exactly. And some things that I feel God has taught me is, you know, if I have a child and you find maybe some worms in the toilet, they've got parasites. Am I diagnosing? No, it's the truth. I see facts. I see what's going on. So I'm not diagnosing. I literally see what's happening and I can be proactive and take action. So with this, we have information. It's not diagnosing anything. There's no labels. It is just out of balance. So even in allopathic medicine, when they put a label for diabetes, what is that really? It's an imbalance in the body, whether it's in the pancreas, whether they've got some other a gene. It's just an imbalance. So that label or that diagnosis doesn't matter. It's what is the imbalance and where do we need to restore balance? That's all it is. So I just don't believe in pulling punches. I do not like being regulated. I am a private ministry. Everything that I do, I speak the truth, and it's none of their business because we have a right to speak the truth. God tells us the truth sets us free. So don't be afraid to speak the truth. It is what it is. It's not a diagnosis. It's just the truth.
This is awesome.
Yes, indeed.
So can you tell me about the device really quickly? Is it a one-time fee of $495 or is that an additional, or is it 150 or is it $495 a month with the device?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Your ability to use the AO scanner is your subscription. It's $149 a month, period. Whether or not you buy a device, the device is a one-time purchase. So this device is $495 one time. And every month that you pay your subscription, you have the ability to use the scanner. You have the ability to use it on the dedicated device, on your computer, on your iPhone, wherever else you want to use it. There are benefits, but that you can use it anywhere. People will ask, well, once I get the subscription, am I locked into it? Absolutely not. The month that you don't pay, you don't have access.
You unlocked.
You're unlocked. You're on your own.
Mhm.
However, as soon as you pay your subscription, you have access. So it's just $149 a month for access, which is amazing because you don't have any, and we paid, like I said, thousands of dollars for this type of technology. This technology itself used to be $38,000 plus a monthly fee. And
Yep.
so, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. And so I forgot to mention too, with this, so the other company that I started doing a lot of mind shift about my whole notion about network marketing, that company did not choose to have a dedicated device. And it was an app company as well. It was phenomenal technology. I loved it. But seriously, we had thousands of doctors who bought it, but they were having so many tech issues because we had the app running on so many different platforms. Nobody could support all that. That was my big beef. And my top leader and we went to the company multiple times begging for a dedicated device that we were all on a single platform. That is one benefit to having a dedicated device if you have the funds to do so. If you don't, get in, start sharing, and earn enough to get your own, because I can tell you, you'll have a lot of freedom. But when you use it on your own device, first of all, with an iPhone, it has to be a 12 or higher. Android, I don't remember. But when you have no support, so you got to figure it out on your own. Dr. Darrell uses it very successfully on his own devices. He doesn't seem to have any problems, and he's been a big help for people who are using it on their own devices. But there are a lot of benefits to having a dedicated device. So that's just, some of the information about that. Oh, also, there is a $49 a year membership fee, just $49 for the year. That enables you to share this technology with other people and earn a very nice commission.
Yeah.
Is the device Wi-Fi enabled or is it cellular?
It's Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
You do have the option to get a SIM card, but it does not come with a SIM card. So
Okay.
you can only use it over Wi-Fi. But I was just gonna say, as far as the $49 now, you can be a preferred customer and just pay the $149 and use it to your heart's content. But people are gonna ask you about it. Anybody you scan is gonna want one. So it is good to pay the $49. It's once a year, and then you have the ability to share it as well and make a commission. All right. Any other questions?
I got one I want to throw in for Daryl. and this will be very cool for people because y'all said it, but I don't know if people really understood. When you say broadcast, now you can use the wearables to broadcast or imprint on something, and then people can wear it, but you can actually broadcast even if they're not wearing anything, right? If you open up their profile.
Yes, sir. So when you establish a profile for someone, you are putting in specific information that's specific to that person. You usually are putting in a picture of their face. And for me, I always start everyone out with an inner voice. So I also have their voice print. So with the voice print coming through the system and the face print being analyzed and going through the system, you really can tune in on that particular person's frequency. And I always do 3 scans in a week. This is now, I wasn't told to do this, but it's just something that I feel very comfortable with doing 3 particular scans in order to make sure that the system knows the frequency. It's like when you put someone's phone number inside of your phone, you don't know for sure that you did it right until you actually press that button and call. And then when you see their phone light up, then oh, I got it. And so you never wonder again after that whether or not pressing that button is going to connect you to that person. So once I feel comfortable and confident that they are inside of the system and that their particular frequency has been found, at that point you can utilize the Cephi portion that that Dr. Jadine mentioned earlier. And I do this with people all the time, but really I do this with my mom a lot. My mom had a spinal cord surgery, so she has a long road ahead of her as far as recovery. And she was in a great deal of pain even after getting out of the hospital. I did not have this technology when she was in there, but I've had it for a couple of months. And in the last 2 months, I've started using it on my mom very regularly. And she will let me know when she's in pain. And I will do Cephis on her, usually either back or shoulders or leg. It's very, very specifically. And my mom is getting to the point where she can not only feel the frequencies hitting her, but she knows when I don't do it. So there are times when she will ask for it, and then I'll get a message one time in particular. And she said, "Son, why didn't you zap me?" That's my mom's word. She used the word zap. "Son, why didn't you zap me?" And I said, "I did." And I went back to the computer and I realized she was just right. I didn't. And so I started doing it. And then she sent me another message back saying, "Thank you, I feel it." Now, this is all completely independent. She's not watching me do this. She doesn't have any concept of exactly when I do it other than what's going on. Really, really quickly, there was a woman today. Now, I told you I do these 3 scans. There was a woman today who was in my office, and this was my first time ever scanning her. And she was specifically having neck and shoulder pain. So after I did her scans that I would, normally do on someone, I went into the Cephi and she had neck and shoulder pain. And she told me that it just went away within about 2 minutes of my starting the Cephi. So this is further experimentation. I really don't need to do those 3. It just makes me feel a little better, so I do. But this was her very first time in that chair. And after I did her scans, I did a Cephi on her and completely took away this neck and shoulder pain that she'd been having for days. And it went away within minutes. So it wasn't a long period of time. Yes, you can use this for your family, your husbands, your wives, your children. Distance is irrelevant in this particular realm. And so I use it on all of my family members who are interested in being worked on. And I use it to work on people remotely all the time.
And for your mom, when it's broadcasting, you just put the headphones on, or you just let it play in a room?
My mom doesn't live with me. So
Right.
I just pull it up. With me, the way I practice, I use my computer. That's the way I prefer to do things, because I can have several tabs open at the same
Right.
time, and I can
Right.
broadcast to several people at the same time.
Ah,
I don't know who doesn't know this, but I just found out recently Google Chrome has a feature that allows you to mute a specific website. And so I was able to go in there and find that. And so now anything that's scanner related is automatically muted. There is a sound that it makes, and I don't have to hear that. So I can have 4 tabs going, and I can have 4 people that I am sending frequencies to, and the sounds aren't clashing into one another on my end. I'm just broadcasting it to her, and I don't hear anything. And that, when I found that out, that was a moment of beauty for me, because it allowed me to do several at one time without worrying about the sound.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need that plug in.
It's not even
Yeah,
a plugin.
really, it's so
A Chrome
fascinating.
extension.
It's so fascinating, and it's hard to understand when you don't really understand energy medicine, but it's just like a cell phone wave or something that's invisible that just travels.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's invisible and it travels and it hits the target based on that profile that you put in.
Based on their frequency. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's good stuff. I think we hit it all as much as we can. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate everybody for showing up. And I appreciate you doctors for taking your time to come on and break this fascinating technology down. And then we did record it so we can share it with those who weren't able to make it today.
One
Can I
last,
answer Jody's question really quickly?
Okay, go ahead.
Jody asks, what 3 scans do I run? Inside of the systems, there is something that's called vitals. Well, it's inner voice, I should say, and vitals, and comprehensive. But these are the 3 main scans. And then there's another one called body systems. These are the ones that I run on everyone. The first 3 is really one scan. Because of the way I do it, I just do it in one click. So technically, I'm clicking a scanning system twice.
and then last thing I have to say, I just want everybody to know that it's a lot of information. However, we have an amazing Facebook group and messenger group
Right.
where if you get your subscription from Kuman or from any of us, you'll be put in that group. You can ask your questions. There's videos, there's education, there's all kinds of information. And then the company itself, Solux, has a whole university of coursework that you'll be able to do, that you'll be able to go through and learn about every single nuance of the program.
And a weekly support call, which is awesome.
Oh, it's nice. Top notch. Well, I appreciate you all. I've been feeling empowered ever since. So I'm getting more and more into digging into it. And once I figure out how to export these frequencies out of here, I'm gonna start creating my own music, putting them in there. I know I can do it when I download the MP3 to myself, but I don't know how to get it from the other portions. You probably tell me about that, Daryl.
Yeah, I just message me. We'll work it out.
Okay. All right, you all. Thank y'all so much. And that's it for this week. And we'll see y'all next time.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, doctors. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Welcome. It's our pleasure.
All right.
All right, come on. You have a great night.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.